And music is on the stall, but not out. Don't think you weren't going to get that. Now, we are live here on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. So we welcome everybody in here. As we actually have a pretty weird, crazy, non-middle-like show, which is normally weird and crazy. But
yeah,
the great Jeremy Piven is going to join us in 10 minutes, and we'll be able to chat about a lot of things. He's here at Keswick coming up. He's got a movie out, a podcast. He's had a bunch of success on screen, from Entourage to some other things you probably didn't see. So he'll be joining us at 11:10. Now, I don't know if you saw this story here, but apparently there's some major hit piece or something really bad is happening to Nebraska, the University of. And the Big Ten as a result of that. Did you see this story?
Well, no, I didn't see the story. I saw some tweets, intimating that a lot of players may be transferring out or something from the football program.
This apparently, gentlemen, is a major story that has not hit the public mainstream yet. And we happen to have a man who is in charge of a lot of the litigation and fact-finding before the litigation. In Dan Lust.
Oh yeah,
This is Dan's story. Dan, this is Dan's guy. He's our sports legal analyst, of course. So he can have some time carved out in the second hour, because look, all three of us are excited for college football and we can't wait to get there, but we also love a great scandal, right?
Right.
Who
doesn't? This
is bigger than ESPN using their power and influence to push around conferences.
Man.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's it.
Well, Dan's a must follow on social media, man. I mean, he's doing everything. He's involved in every sports litigation story there is.
I'm telling you this is the story, case, whatever that he broke. So
Andrew Brandt uses him too.
Yep.
The great Andrew Brandt.
Yep. We'll talk maybe second hour, see how that goes. Because we've got the football game that is a day away now. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can get 2 days worth of breakdown for a series and a half of the ones.
I don't think so, especially when we don't know how many plays the starters are going to play, which starters are going to play at all. Here's the thing. We anticipate and we look forward to this first game, right? Because it's actually a game, and it means the regular season is only X amount of days away. But I have a feeling we're going to be discussing this on Friday morning, that we don't really know much more about the Eagles than we do today.
What is there to know? I mean, this is going to be a first impression. I keep telling everybody, man, what's going on now is we don't know.
Right.
The coaches don't know how the players are going to react. They don't know what plays they're going to run. And what plays work. You don't really define your identity until like your fourth game anyway. So I'm just anxious to see some football, and I just want to, just look at things. I don't want to just judge people. I just want to look and see what direction they're going. On a post-game show, it's going to be a lot of, okay, then this is what I saw, as opposed to, this guy sucks, or they need to put this guy here. I just want to see what's going on first, man.
Yeah, but I think we need to set our expectations low as far as how much we're going to glean from this team in one preseason game.
There we go.
It wouldn't even be a full game.
Right.
So,
right.
Well, bro,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say real quick. How often have we seen an NFL team start out slow, make mistakes in the first quarter, be down in the first half, come back in the third quarter, work stuff that they didn't have working in the first quarter, in the fourth quarter, win a football game. And we're going to go 6 series, maybe at most, with all of the ones and say, this is who this football team is? No, not at all.
No.
Not even 6 series. You know what I mean? Not even 6.
No, I'm saying like at most for linemen and everybody else. Right. Definitely not for Hurts.
Well, hopefully we get more out of Thursday night's game than we did last night's game, thanks to Mother Nature.
No, sir. Mother Nature helped me out exponentially last night.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Nola was on freaking
He
fire. And that rain cooled his ass off. So for anybody who had the Dodgers -1, for anybody who had the Dodgers highest scoring inning, you knew that you could stomach the loss of Max Scherzer. The Phillies could not suffer the loss of Aaron Nola, and it's a shame for him, isn't it? Because he was on fire.
Well, that's the problem with this baseball team. If they don't get 7-8 innings out of Nola, Wheeler, and as much, even a Gibson, I'll say. I mean, they're doomed.
Yep,
they are doomed. Forget about what Bryce Harper's doing. Forget about what Reese Hoskins might be doing. They are doomed.
I didn't even watch the game because I didn't want to go through this right now.
I thought we were all in on this game.
I thought we were watching it for you. We did it for you, Barrett.
I did the exact opposite because I thought you guys were going to do the exact opposite.
Man. Oh, you weren't here for the first hour, but we basically hit like every single possible bet you could place on this baseball game just to keep us watching. Harry was placing first 5 bets just so we could sit there and watch.
I had him on the screen behind me, Barrett.
I remember when I got there and I saw that. I made mention of that. I didn't get the memo, guys. My fault. I was a trainer.
Are you a part of this show? Are you a part of this team or what?
But I'll tell you what. How'd they do?
This is a Gal Media property.
Great for me.
In partnership with JAKIB Media.
And the Mets were about to lose and blow a 3-leg parlay, and that thing got voided. So yes.
The middle starts now on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry May.
All right, welcome in a Wednesday edition. So we appreciate you hanging with us on this middle of the week, on the middle. We are expected to be joined by Jeremy Piven coming up in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So get your entourage questions in here. Should we take
that would be the biggest guest we've ever had, I think.
By a mile.
Yes. I mean, he's a star.
Right.
A bona fide star.
Yeah.
That's probably the better way to put it. We have people on here who think they're stars when they come on, but they're not bona fide.
Right.
Like Kevin Kincaid.
Right.
He is not bona fide.
No.
You can't tell him that, though.
0. No, he will stop coming on. At that
but hey, guys, we were talking about earlier, about preseason and everything. Let's hope they don't do what they did to us Carson's rookie year. Remember Sam Bradford?
Yeah.
They won all 4 preseason games. He came out on fire.
Against Green Bay, I think. Wasn't it? Yeah, I think 91 LSXers on the stream has been reminding us of that. Like he went like 7 for 7 in that first drive and led him for a score. Was it 10 for 10? Maybe it was
10 for 10. Yeah, I just put it in my Philly Voice column. So
it better be right.
Matt Mullen would definitely check that fact, but I believe it was 10 for. I thought it was 13 for 13, and then when I looked up, I think it was 10 for 10.
Well, whatever it was, people went nuts.
Yes, and that's what we now look. My warning this week is, and it's hard. It's really easy to see something atrocious on the field and chalk it up to the preseason. But what's really difficult is to not get ahead of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Is to not look at 2 series and say, wow, that's my guy right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not discounting, or dismissing anything that Jalen Hurts would do. What I'm saying is just like we're coming down on the people that are going to go Negadelphia if Jalen Hurts throws a pick in his first pass, we also need to remind ourselves we can't be Bradford up.
Right.
We can't be like, oh, my God, 10 for 10, put him in the Hall of Fame.
I won't be.
Canton.
Yeah, I won't be. I'm glass half empty. Now, the guy down below us here in the bright orange shirt, I don't know. He's already got him at 11 wins.
Going in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts goes 5 for 5 in the first drive. They score a TD. Barrett will have him in the Super Bowl.
Look, then he'll go 5 for 5 for 12 yards. They'll take him out.
Barrett's like, I told you they should have traded Wentz.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Look,
the whole time they should have traded this guy.
Yo. And then, at the game, they're honoring the alumni, so I'll be out on the field at halftime.
Oh, nice.
So you guys know.
What are they doing as far as honoring?
Nothing. This is gonna call our name. We walk out on the field, and they'll make us go sit back in the seats.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
This is really just a chance, an excuse for you to get hammered with Trey Thomas and Hugh.
Right.
I can't because I got to do
He's got to do the post-game show.
Yeah. So me and Seth will be there. Wave hands.
See, if you want to make a preseason week 1 post-game show must-watch television, get drunk at the game.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Seth.
Give me your Mount Rushmore of drunk hosts.
Yeah.
Martinez, his final day at the at IP. Barrett,
No, did he?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was. Well, look, I mean, he dropped a couple of bombs on it. He should never. The producer should never have put him on the air.
Some say I was hammered after a Jimmy Rollins bowling event
Yes.
down in Center City and doing my night show, allegedly.
Well, do you know, though, that this must have been the same event that myself, Dan Schwartzman, and John Moses put on?
Schwartzman was there, yes.
Yeah, so was I. My
Yeah.
job there was to hang with Shane Victorino and Harry Callis the whole
Right,
day.
right.
Wow.
I think that was the night that I first really met Schwartzman.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And
He
you
first forced himself on me.
Right.
Because I didn't want to meet him.
Hey, Mace, let me tell you the story about what happened
Let me
here.
introduce myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like,
We
I
probably
don't
didn't get
know.
him on talk
Yeah.
Phillies because they beat up on the Mets. So isn't he a Mets fan, right? I thought he was a Mets
No,
fan.
he's a Yankees fan.
Okay,
Right,
Yankees,
Yeah,
right?
he's a
Yankees
Yankees fan.
But I
Right.
tell you this though, I can remember when I first starting out in my career. Every time I was with Shan, we had
Mhm.
a couple drinks. We were good.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
game show down at the
At the we're at
Bowling
the yep.
South Philly bowling alley.
Yeah. I think you should get drunk for the post-game show for this
You-
first week. I mean, it would be must-watch. You just got to go to your bosses and say, look, nobody's going to care about a post-game show week 1 in a preseason. The quarterback only played 6 plays.
Right.
Let me and Seth get into the Brown, and then this will be much-watched television.
But
Right.
hey, Ray. Hey, Ray.
Yeah, Ray Jr.
Yeah, Ray would love
Oh,
that.
that would be great.
All right, here we go. We're back now, and I see on the screen, so I'm just not positive if we're just waiting for Jeremy. That's fine. We have all the time in the world. So when we get the go-ahead, if we see him or hear him, then we'll be good to go here. But at least we know that we're connected at the very
Right,
least.
right.
That's the hardest part
Exactly.
Right.
with all of this.
It's all downhill from here.
Exactly right.
This show is a well-oiled machine today.
You're right.
I'm
You're just
liking
saying
this.
that because we have a guest on.
This is included on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, now we see the box up there on the screen. So, here we go. Okay. That makes more sense now.
Oh, there
Hello.
he is.
Now we could hear you, and hopefully we'll be able to see you as well, because it is one of the most familiar faces that you have seen on screen, from film to TV and stand-up as well.
And much
Now-
better looking than us,
correct.
by the way.
The irony, Mr. Jeremy Piven, that we can't see you, but the 3 ugly mugs of us.
There he is.
There he is.
Yes,
Listen,
yes.
I got to be honest with you guys. I thought this was radio. I'm not prepared. I'm visually offensive. I apologize.
Then you fit in with this show.
All right, yeah, you
There you
belong here, man. Hey, in fact, I need to put some buttercream on. Put an amla on. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you go.
Buttercream. We
Well,
love.
Harry even showered for you, Jeremy. Look at that.
Yeah, I even shaved today.
Buttercream, croc skin, buttercream. That's below the waist. Mystery meats. Let's go in. Hey!
Yes.
That made my day.
Do you understand the words? Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's what I'm
Wow.
talking. That's how you wake up in the morning, man. There we go.
That's
Seriously.
how I wake
Yes,
up every
sir.
morning. Every morning.
The household must love that, right?
Unfortunately, it's just me. I'm alone. I'm 200 years old. People want to know why I'm still single. I tell them that I've been married to my work, and then my work decided to see other people. So I'm alone, sir.
No problem. I was up until a couple of years ago, and people still can't believe that I procreated. So I understand that feeling myself.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, look, I'm not giving this one up. All right. If you have any parenting advice for my 7-week-old son, please, because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, Jeremy.
You're looking for parenting advice from me.
Yes.
I'll take it from anybody. But
Brother,
you're,
except
you're way
me.
more successful than anybody on this show. So yes.
I can't even start a lawnmower. Okay, I can't tell you about anything.
Bro, all we know is right now you're the best guest we've had on, man. You're bona fide, man. You're totally bona fide, so we're good now. Our show has finally arrived.
There you go. Well, that means that you haven't had any good guests because I'm visually mediocre. it's like you guys are sleeping your way to the middle.
Yes, yes. We're on the fast track to the middle.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Let's talk about a bunch of stuff going on. We'll start here in Philly, technically Glenside, where you are at the majestic Keswick Theater that has a ton of history and a ton of culture, and you're going to add to it, and you're going to fit right, like you are here, you will fit right in at the Keswick, I'm sure. So beyond, which we'll talk about from TV to movies, the podcast as well, at Jeremy Piven, of course, is how you can follow him on Twitter if you're not already. Let's start with Keswick. Let's start with Philly. Let's start with the stand-up and what everybody should expect to see Saturday night, where I'm sure that place is going to be rocking.
Yeah, man, I love stand-up. Stand-up is, I've had people say to me, everyone's going to expect you to this high like watermark for, from being an actor, playing Ari Gold and whatnot. Are you okay disappointing them? I'm like, disappointing them? It's I've had people after my stand-up shows say to me, I had no idea you were this funny. And I'm thinking, I'm 113 movies into it. Wait, what's going on here? It's a backhanded compliment. I appreciate it. I love doing stand-up because it's almost like, listen, Doug Ellen wrote Entourage brilliantly. And this is a way for me to kind of, be the writer and star, director, producer, everything. It's a one-person show, not one man. We can't be gender specific.
Right.
It's my honor to do impressions and tell stories and observational humor and make people laugh at the Keswick Theater, which, by the way, they're just reopening for the first time since the pandemic.
Absolutely. What's your go-to impression? And I don't mean as far as like the jukebox, like, hey, Jeremy, do this, like the one that you love the most.
I love them all because I do everyone from Stallone to Mike Tyson to Owen Wilson. I do it all. But by the way, I'm doing these impressions not, like a strange, awkward ventriloquist.
Right.
I'm telling stories and then, having to enter into the characters to make the stories clear, if that makes sense.
No, the only other person, and it's just because of chronology, because he's older than you, that I've seen do this so well on stage is Kevin Spacey, talking about times and interactions on the movies with different actors that he's worked with. And that's immediately what I think of, because it's not just, and I'm not knocking Caliendo by any means, we love him, but it's not just coming on and doing like a Barkley, or you're telling intimate stories and you're telling interactions that you've had with these people, and you're bringing life to them with them not being there.
Yeah. Did you say Charles Barkley? Did you just mention Charles Barkley out of nowhere?
Well, because
Caliendo, that's one
Caliendo.
of his big
right.
impressions.
Because I was basically separating the two, where it's not like you're coming on doing a bit per se in Owen Wilson's voice. It's a conversation or an interaction or an experience you may have had with who you're doing. That's all I was saying.
Absolutely. He's brilliant. His impressions are incredible.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, we love.
So you do a good Charles, man, because Charles, man, he is something special, bro. Something special.
Charles has a superpower because his superpower is he has no fear of anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't care how he's perceived. He's so opinionated. He doesn't care about what you think of his golf swing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I ran into him one time. I said, man, I always watch you on TNT, man. What's in your cup? What are you drinking? He goes, come on, man. What do you think I be drinking, man? For real. He goes, hey, man, you doing your damn thing. For real, though. Y'all, man. I don't know if I'm doing – that was kind of like 18% Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, that's pretty good, though. and it's tough to be fearless in this day and age. It's really admirable. I totally agree with you about Charles. But how much of your past roles comes up in the stand-up? Like, do you become those characters for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, but I do it like, for instance, it's selfishly, it's a way for people to when they come to the Keswick Theater for, Saturday night at 8:00, please enjoy that transition.
Yes.
When they come, they'll see me, selfishly, they're going to get a sense, they'll leave knowing who I am, as opposed to, oh, wow, we thought he was Ari Gold, but he's actually this dude from Chicago who has a mother and is a human being. And I tell a story about my mom has been my acting teacher since I was a kid, so I run lines with her. So everything I said is already gold. I said to my mom's face, which is insane considering how foul-mouthed my character is. And so I literally go into a story where I talk about running lines, not doing lines with my mind, running lines. Don't, please, guys, get your mind out of there. No one wins when you do lines with your mom.
No.
No, stop.
Can we put you on that?
So I run lines with Joyce Piven, and I enter into that, and I enter into Ari Gold and play him. And so I feel like I want to give people everything they want, and at the same time staying true to like what I genuinely think is funny and who I am and speaking my truth, if that makes sense.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, look, you're a sports fan. You know, what are your teams right now?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm very loyal to my Bears and my Blackhawks.
I grew up a Bears fan.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'm a Cardinals fan as far as baseball, man. I mean, but football,
yeah.
I didn't like the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm from St. Louis, but I love Chicago just because of, you know, Walter Payton, all those guys, the Fridge, all those guys, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, even, you know, we all have our teams, but there's no one that couldn't possibly celebrate Walter Payton.
No question.
Whenever I run into a running back, I always ask them, who's the best? And I have to say, every one of them says Walter. You know, no matter who that icon is, they all give it up to him. They say that he's the best. And, you know, it was so incredible being a kid and watching him. And I got to interview him. I was hosting the Chicago Film Critics one year, and I interviewed him and went to his office, and he didn't know me. You know, I'm just like this kid, like, you know, stage actor who just had broken into movies, whatever. He didn't know me, but he took the time and was so generous and sweet. That's why they call him Sweetness. But I'm going to be in Philly throwing out the first pitch at the Phillies Red Sox game Friday night before. Do I see a baby? Is there a baby in the shot? Is that an actual?
Yeah, that's a real baby.
I'm worse than the person who brings a baby to
we all see it,
or a baby on the airplane, right? Like, I'm doing this because look, it's COVID, it's the pandemic, it's RSV, all this crap going around. Don't blame me.
Yesterday he was breastfeeding the baby, bro. Imagine how awkward that was. He was breastfeeding the baby, man.
Did that baby come out of your mangina?
If you saw my gut, then that's a proper assessment.
Yes, he's got a fupa. Yeah, you know.
Sir, this is groundbreaking.
Yes. You're not getting this anywhere else, Jeremy. Trust me.
No, but look, I don't want to detract from what Jeremy is and what he's doing, which is this kid here who the stream has seen enough, by all means. But I'm curious though, because we are all in the audio world, the radio world first, and things have changed now to where we're streaming. That's why we get to see you as well as talk with you. But the podcast has always been the freedom, right? So we're even away from the FCC and all the other governing bodies on radio where you can just do whatever the hell you want. And you mentioned just the freedom that you have on stage with stand-up, especially here, Saturday, Keswick Theater, right? August 14th. What's different with you? How is Jeremy Piven just different on how you living with the podcast that you've been doing?
Listen, I've always loved listening to podcasts, and obviously they've you know, you guys are probably couldn't sleep last night thinking, man, we need another podcast. Said no one ever. But you know, I love the form. It's been incredible for me because all I'm doing is, okay, like, you know, my first episode was with Jamie Foxx, and I did Tiffany Haddish, Mark Cuban, you know, the actor and hip hop artist Common drops today.
Nice.
And, you know, listen, the good news is I don't know what I'm doing. So that what happens is as I'm interviewing these people, I forget that we're documenting it. And I'm just having a conversation with my guys or women. And so it's just very kind of unfiltered. And I was just on set with Terrence Howard and Tyrese. We're doing a movie that we wrapped I wrapped a couple days ago, and you know, it's just like I've known Terrence Howard for decades, and so I'm just sitting with my buddy chopping it up, and people are, listen, we've had a ton of downloads very fast, and that's because I think they're gravitating towards the authenticity of the show,
Right.
and that goes a long way. I'm not pulling any punches, and neither are my guests, and we're having a blast.
All right, hold on real quick. We're going to break on the network. Still live on the YouTube page. Back in 3. Still live with Jeremy Piven for another couple of minutes here.
Yeah, Jeremy, I had a question for you about, two of the great roles that you did. And of course, Ari on Entourage and the old school character. Do you think either one of those films or series could be done today in today's environment?
Well, first of all, are we actually on the air right now?
Just on YouTube. Just on YouTube.
So you can curse right now. You
can curse.
That's amazing. Just on YouTube. It's just, the check's in the mail. I won't say the other things. That's amazing. I think that it's funny you're saying could they exist today? Of course they could, without a doubt. And the irony is, we're in the middle of this cancel culture. And the irony is that people now more than ever just want to be entertained, and they want a piece of something that touches them in some way. And Ari Gold was an equal opportunity offender, and you know what I mean. And he was fascinating and authentic, and those characters exist. And he was all bark and no bite. Was showing people tough love. His assistant was Asian, and he would say things that were offensive to Lloyd. At the same time, he wanted to toughen Lloyd up so that he could thrive in that world. You thought he was a pig, and he was, sleeping with all these women, but he was monogamous. So the reality is people miss Ari Gold, because I can tell you they do, because I'm on the road and I run into a lot of people, and they miss that character in that show. And there are a lot of, if the business were to look at what's selling right now, it's everything from things that are PC, yes, but then to things that are edgy and outside the box, like the show Dave. About this white rapper.
From Philly, by the way.
Indeed, Lil Dicky, who is crushing it, and that show is so unique and beautifully quirky and original, and yet an homage to other shows that we love. You got to remember that this also is a business, and it may be, it's offensive to maybe some groups, but are they really offensive? And then you have to look and go, okay, well, a lot of people are watching it and receiving this. And like Shakespeare says, the lady doth protest too much. It's like, let's take a beat and not be so reactive, with this is a whole other conversation.
No, it's great.
No, it's great. Take a deep breath.
No, because I think what I take from this too is my favorite thing you've ever done on screen, because of the combination of humor and especially with the benefit of hindsight where we are now, intelligence, was PCU. It was so ahead of its time that I feel like if you were to do something like that, it's not a question that Harry asked, can it? I think it would work to the point where humor, laughing at ourselves, we're not going to protest. We're not going to protest. The fact that everything, social media to real life, is about dividing in groups that want themselves to be heard at the expense of others. PCU might bring our country together, Jeremy.
Well, yeah, you're right. I think it was ahead of its time for sure. And yeah, the irony of people protesting, saying we're not gonna protest, is really funny. That would be amazing to do a sequel to that. And I think as long as we're listening to each other, we're okay.
Yeah.
We're all opinionated and we need to be heard, but we also need to be listening to someone else's point of view so that we can progress and move on together. This is obviously, and also to have uncomfortable conversations.
Right.
I think instead of just canceling people, it'd be good to have these conversations where we can learn and grow. And that's one of the great things about having a podcast. And on my podcast, How You Live in JPiven, another great transition, by the way.
Love it.
We have these long, uncomfortable conversations, which we need to have, by the way.
Well, let me ask you a little personal question, man.
Yeah. I'm not sure though, because do you have a time for one more question, or are we going to have? Okay, because we want to promote everything that you're doing as well on the way out.
Right. But this is like with the pandemic and everything, and stars getting paid money. Is it the same level as it was, or is it going down with the pandemic since they're putting everything on these live streams now, man? Because my daughter's an actor now. She's in Cali right now, shooting a TV series for Netflix. But I mean, is the money value still there? I mean, would you advise kids to get into this this genre now?
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned YouTube. It's like we're at a time right now where it used to be that you had to get the studios, and there's a long process where a lot of people have to sign off on you for you to possibly get okayed to get your shot. And now you can really take control of your own life and be self-empowered by creating your own content.
Wow.
Putting it out there on YouTube. Listen, you can hate on Jake Paul, Logan Paul, all those guys all you want. They've created a lane for themselves, and they have a legitimate audience.
Yeah.
And that's real, and so, are they, and they want to be taken seriously as athletes, and they're bringing a lot of eyeballs to these events. So to switch over to your daughter, and she's doing a Netflix show. Netflix, they're the biggest guys on the block. And so she's going to have a very big audience, and she will get her shot.
Yeah.
As far as compensation, listen, it's just an honor to be working, and work, will get you more work. So I would say don't even focus on the money or any of that stuff. You just got to get in the game, start contributing, and the rest will work its way out.
Appreciate it, man.
We open up with parenting advice. We end with acting advice.
Yeah.
And everything in
life
between.
Advice.
Yes.
Really.
Everything in between. Jeremy, we can't thank you enough, man, especially hanging a little longer. This is awesome. Keswick Theater, August 14th. That's Saturday night in Glenside. You already know out there about the amazing Keswick Theater, the reopening now with Jeremy Piven at Jeremy Piven. How You Live in JPiven is the podcast we've been talking about. The movie that you alluded to with Terrence Howard. The Walk, you just finished wrapping that, so we'll take a look on that. And then again, from Ari Gold, PCU, and so Old School, so many things that you've done on screen. You've touched a lot of people, and your work is strong, brother. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys, man. This is maybe the longest interview in the history of it.
Sorry.
I'm honored. I'm honored that you guys took the time. I really thank you.
Yeah,
I'll see you on Saturday, man.
Brother, come on.
Thanks,
I'll see you
Jeremy.
on Saturday. I'll have my buttercream on too. All right, man.
We've got extra cream for you if you'd like.
Extra cream with the mystery meat.
That's Jeremy.
All right,
There he is.
Jeremy,
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
right.
Oh my goodness. What do we do? I mean, can we just end the show?
I know.
Right,
Where do we go after this?
What are we supposed to do? We can't follow Jeremy Piven.
No, he just dropped the
drop
mic. Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Terrence Howard lives around Philly.
Well, we should
he
get
does.
him on. He is fantastic. He's got a couple of roles that I definitely like to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was
He lives in suburban Philly.
Does he?
At least he did.
Man, we got that was so much with, and we got a lot from Jeremy too, where it was some pretty insightful commentary, hilarious. And I didn't know that was as big of a part of his act. But again, if anybody's ever seen Kevin Spacey do Jack Nicholson, he's doing right because he's talking about interactions that he's had in A Few Good Men. Right. So he's telling stories about you missing that. That's what, like he's sweating about how he's in the courtroom when it's like, who's going to do it? You, Ryan
Weinberg. Yeah.
Right. And he's like,
that's
really,
Kevin Pollak, not
oh,
Spacey.
Pollak. Did I say
Kevin,
Spacey?
yeah, it's Kevin
Jeez.
Pollak.
I meant Pollak. Jeez,
And he
I'm
does
sorry.
Shatner too.
Yeah, he does them all.
Incredible
Because,
with that.
right,
Yeah,
I misspoke. You should have corrected me. Piven now thinks I'm even more of an ass.
I think he was distracted by the mangina. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
But you can get tickets keswicktheater.com and also jeremy-piven.com/live for the stand-up stuff.
All right.
Oh, that was great, man. That was great, man.
What's the site again? Keswick Theater?
keswicktheater.com, yeah.
Is that THEATER or RE?
It's THEATRE.
Okay.
.com. Good question, because it depends. Yeah. I'm going to see the Hooters there again October or November.
Okay.
Been there a few times. That's a great spot.
The Hooters?
Yeah.
Not Hooters shrimp and chicken.
No. The band. My neighbor.
Nobody goes to Hooters for the food, right?
Exactly. You go for the beer.
Bro, I went to a Hooters, dog. I was in Nashville, man. I went to a Hooters in Nashville. Bro, don't go to a Hooters in Nashville.
No.
It's bad football there, bro. Bad football. Yeah. Those Hooters, man, they probably need nightgowns to keep them up underneath their shirt.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, is that right? Okay. Yeah.
It was pretty bad, bro. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what we have, man. That's what we have. Boy, I tell you, man, you got to know about. I got to tell you off the air. Got a nice little tip on this crypto coin. All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No.
Might be involved.
Oh, God.
Might be involved.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go to Ron to see how he would grade our conversation with Jeremy Piven.
Well, we're back in 3 minutes, so maybe we should do that when we're done.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't.
We're gonna have a break coming up now.
All right.
So we're back in 3 on the middle.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you. Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3. Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, so now, man, that's tough to start a show out like that, right?
Yeah. Where do you go from there,
Home?
Can't really talk about the Phillies bullpen after that deal.
No. Come on.
He even started the show out just blazing, guns blazing.
Well,
Yeah,
I want to know from Ron, who is a big Entourage guy. In fact, he's recommended it to me, saying that I would absolutely love the show. So based on that recommendation, I will start to watch the show. Entourage, because I never saw it. And Ron texted me, said, you'd love it. Trust me, you'd love it. And I do. I trust Ron more than I trust either one of you guys.
Well, I've given you some really solid television, man.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, as far as trust factor here, it resides with Ron Double N.
Yeah, Double N,
first and foremost.
Yeah, you would trust his.
Right. So I'd like to know if he thought we did a decent job.
Yeah, what say you, Ron Culver?
With what? My name?
That's the answer I was expecting.
Yes, you did. You heard your name, sir. Yes, you did.
Okay, what's the question?
How did we do with Jeremy Piven?
You guys had Jeremy Piven on?
Yeah, I know. Right? Yeah, Ron's all set for this new show coming on next week. Now he's.
Where was I? Was this announced?
You were still you know what you were doing? You were at that party for Jake Asman on his last day.
Right.
Just like, who cares about this show?
This is an out of body. Actually, no, I'm just joking with you guys. You guys did a good job. Great job, Mangina.
Thank you.
That was tremendous. How about that?
I guarantee you're going to be hearing that for a couple of months.
Months.
I don't know. Months?
Wow.
I don't know.
Now, did they have a going away party for Asman today?
No.
No.
We're going like 7 steps next door. What do we care?
Well, I mean, is any excuse to throw a party and eat some Chipotle?
Right.
Like if he actually left the building, sure, but he literally is just walking down the hall. His commute to work got 7 steps longer. He's fine.
Okay, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Just a matter of that, more so than anything else.
I'm a huge Piven fan. Harry, like I said, you will love Entourage. You're gonna love Piven's character, Ari Gold.
Okay.
It absolutely steals the show, especially early on. He's the reason why you're gonna stay tuned.
That'll hook me.
It'll hook you.
Yeah.
There's no other person on the planet that could have played Ari Gold. Who literally, I guess, is based off a real person. And yeah, I'm 100% with Eytan too. With PCU, it was way ahead of its time.
Oh my
That's
goodness!
Probably why it didn't do so well at the box office.
If it were coming out, I mean, that's what
They
I
should
would
re-release it.
Yeah, they really should.
But I don't know if it plays now because now it might be a little insensitive.
Well, no, because think about it. It's not like that. That was the whole part about PCU, which is it was never about the individual. It was always about the larger statement, which is it just became like, if you look at the history of protest, if you will, right? Like groups just keep piling on and piling on and piling on, so that when you look at initial reasons and initial groups who were marginalized way back, it's like, hey, man, now you've got 50 other people that are claiming that their cause is as righteous, if not more. So it's the dangers of not listening, which is what I got from Piven now. So I understand what you're saying as far as like maybe being insensitivity to protest, as specific as they may be. But I think overall, it's kind of like
I'm saying, like, viewers now, if you're watching it for the first time, and you're not somebody else affiliated with the show, because all you guys are as twisted in the head as we are. So the movie will play perfectly for you, but some of those sensitive ones out there,
yeah,
they would find a reason to bash it.
Hmm.
And I don't know how you would find a reason to bash it.
No, they would be the
maybe-
people
maybe
in
it would
the movie that were being made fun of for bashing
Yeah, I mean,
everything.
they literally had protesters who was like, no, that was last week's protest, and they flipped their sign.
Right. They flipped the sign around. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I haven't seen Entourage either, but
Oh, you haven't?
I have not. No.
Oh, see, I thought you did.
It's
No.
it's a good show. I mean, basically what it is, guys, is just it shows you the other side of Hollywood that you'd fantasize about.
Mm-hmm. Like you want to live vicariously through these guys.
I mean, there's one guy who makes it as a big movie star, and he goes out to he leaves New Jersey New Jersey or Queens, with two of his friends and his brother, and meet up with his brother, who's a fledgling actor.
Mm-hmm.
This guy has made it big time, and it's just what the situations they get into. You know, being in the Hollywood business,
Mm-hmm.
the late night parties, the after, the nightlife that you have in Hollywood. But honestly, like Jeremy Piven's role in that is what you watch for.
Hmm.
It's
I saw a couple snippets of it. You know what I'm saying? I never watched a full show. I mean, I'd watch a full show. I didn't watch like a full season. I mean, I see an episode. I wouldn't turn it. Put it like that. I wouldn't turn it from the TV.
Isn't Wahlberg a part of the production? Wasn't it kind of
based on his life?
It's his deal, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's based on his life. I never knew that.
Yeah, I think it is loosely based, or maybe not loosely based.
No, I
Maybe
believe
it's
it's like
legit.
Yeah.
And
So
if anything, too, one of the other reasons why you watch this, first of all, the amount of women that go through, it's great. It's
Yeah.
What do you mean by go through?
But no, just because
On the screen?
The main character, Vinny Chase, likes variety in life.
well, he's
I gotcha.
he's supposed to be Wahlberg, right?
Yeah. But the other thing that is great about it is, once they all get settled in, I don't know what season it is, you have the real Bob Saget in a TV show.
Hmm. Oh,
Not the Full House Bob.
no, the blue Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's another Philly guy.
Yep.
Yep.
But but you have him.
Mhm.
And, I mean, he is.
Yeah, his stand-up is a departure from anything you've ever seen him do on regular
Oh
television.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you were a child of the late 80s, early 90s, that was, very eye-opening. When the first time you heard his actual stand-up, you went, whoa.
Yeah.
That's Danny Tanner.
Right.
Oh, seriously?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I never knew.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just if you can picture Danny Tanner in your head, Brooks, he is the exact opposite.
Wow.
So now 91 LSXers on the stream says Entourage was great despite the episodes being 19 minutes long. I like that. It's quick. You can just like burn through it.
I don't know, man. You got to nail that, right? I mean, we make fun of radio hosts, like music hosts, all the time because they talk for 3-4 minutes an hour. But if you have a 90-second break where you're introducing a Zeppelin deep cut, you better nail that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're fumbling around trying to tell me about and it's like bam, and all of a sudden the music hits, you look like a jackass. Like it's not. I don't think it's as easy as maybe it seems. Right? That's a pretty tough.
Well, I'm not saying it's easy. It's easy to watch the show,
Right.
Because you can just burn through the episode.
Right. Right.
If you have a bad episode, that's good. Imagine this, right? We're talking about this now with the benefit of hindsight, but this is where Game of Thrones really fell off for a lot of people. Is you're talking about a time where you had to wait. So if you go through a 19-minute episode and that episode sucks, sitting around for 6 days, 23 hours, and 41 minutes to see another episode that could fly by like that. And if it's good, you're sitting there like, wait, I want more. I want more.
You got to hit the mark. You got to hit the mark every single time, or you lose people easily. I mean, I
really did to an extent, Barrett, to your point, because it's super popular. But you're right; that's a really thin margin to work with.
Right. But you know what? It definitely fits in with today's people simply because everything is microwave, everything is fast. And I mean, you can't capture everybody's attention for over 20 minutes, I guess. So I mean, it probably is the best solution to really push your shows. 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a 30-minute show with commercials.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like 22 minutes should be the time that you get normally for a
Yeah,
sitcom.
the show,
Yep.
I think averages anywhere from like 20 to 25 minutes.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Commercials, obviously, it's HBO. 20 to 25 minutes in length, and it ran for 8 seasons.
Right.
So I mean, it's you guys, you all will enjoy it.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
started
I don't have
season
time.
2 of Longmire last night. Got through 2 of the episodes. They're about 45 minutes long. So with commercials, it would be an hour episode. Both episodes were so over the top, I might already be out.
Really? That took
Yeah.
the second season?
Like they might have already jumped the shark after one great season. There was so much unbelievable, like you couldn't even like think that this could be remotely reality. And when it's too far like that, I'm out.
Oh man, I didn't.
What is it about? What is Longmire about?
He's a sheriff in rural Wyoming.
That's where Lou Diamond is in here.
Yeah, Lou Diamond. It's a lot of bad stuff seems to happen.
Okay, but hold on a second. Like, is this a series where you've got a sheriff in Wyoming, and then all of a sudden season 2, it's cowboys and aliens, or
no, not like that. But just like, for example, the first
I like
episode
that show, actually. Cowboys and Aliens.
of the second season.
You like terrible stuff.
He's wandering. He's roaming through a mountainous landscape in a major snowstorm. Okay. And tons of snow. It's freezing cold. He doesn't have gloves on. All he's got is a jacket and his cowboy hat, carrying his gun, going after these convicts that escaped. And he falls down the mountain after he gets shot at, okay, and falls into a creek. So he's soaking wet in sub-zero temperatures and finds his way into a cabin. And we're led to believe that he lights a fire with rocks, like, smacking rocks together, like burning, like flint. And next thing you know, his clothes are all dry and he's got energy again. And he looks like he was just walked out of the shower and he's going after getting these criminals. And I was like, what? Are you serious? What happened to the hypothermia that we were going through 2 seconds ago?
Yeah.
It's a joke.
I can see you looking at it like that too.
Totally. I stopped. I hit pause and I go to the wife. I go, are you serious with this?
I can see you doing it.
Yes.
Look at this.
So you're out right now.
Well, the second episode had some crazy nonsense to it too. I might be under the second season might have been a different director. Who knows?
So he might go up with his bear, gets his arm ripped off, and he grows it back.
Right. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know it would come to this.
I didn't either. I was hoping this would last.
And you're not one to bail either. Like you don't.
No, I stick through stuff except baseball games with weather delays.
And then you guys tell me not to watch it, and I don't watch it, and you guys are all in on it. You know what I mean? Come on.
Right.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't tell you to watch a show that I'm uncertain about. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's a big difference, I think.
I mean, you've done pretty good. You know what I'm saying with the movies thus far.
With his recommendations?
Yeah,
his recommendations are good.
But we haven't had, why we haven't had many recommendations here lately? No dog. So he hadn't been to watch movies. There's no dog.
No, I'm watching. There was something I was going to go actually and start watching. And Harry mentioned Longmire, and I was derailed at the point. I forget what it was.
The greatest disappointment ever happened to me yesterday. And this is the reason why I wasn't watching baseball.
Okay. Hold on. We got a break on the network.
All right.
Hold that shit up here. Go ahead.
I can't even go into it, man. I can't do it, man. But I mean, it's.
What do you mean you can't go into it? You just teased it.
I know, man, but I mean, this. I had so many expectations for this show, man, and it just ruined me, man. It just ruined me, man.
For the middle?
No, for Now just slipped my mind. What was it? Oh my goodness. What is that show? Let's move on. I'll get back to it. But I was just disappointed. I watched it last night. I was just so disappointed. I'm trying to forget it.
So you were watching that instead of the baseball game.
Right.
Yeah.
Worst ever. In fact, I didn't even fall asleep on it. I just turned it off. Let me go back to it. Hold on.
So Does anybody have Barrett? You have a Samsung, right?
Yeah.
How do you get movies off of your phone to anyway? It won't let me send it via email. Like I have a video of me that I just shot earlier that I need to upload for a commercial, and I don't know how to get this thing off my phone. It won't let me email it to myself. I can't text it to myself. It's too big. It's a 30-second video.
You got to go to Google Drive.
Thank you, sir. But normally it allows me to go to Drive on the Gmail. So
yeah, you got to go to Google Drive. Google Drive, or you can use WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay, I'll go full Google on this Drive now. I didn't realize I had to do
That's
that.
how I send all my clips and everything. That's how I send you
off your
clips.
phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that makes sense now. I knew I had to ask somebody. I have no idea, man. Just fumbling through this here. Let's see. I need to upload.
Okay, yeah. The movie was Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one of your Marvel deals, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the first Suicide Squad, I loved it.
Okay.
Loved it. The second Suicide Squad, come on, man.
Yeah.
I hate to do it to them.
Didn't they just come out with a second one?
Yes. And I was all hyped up and everything. Had my popcorn and everything ready to rock and roll with it.
Yeah.
I got
How many,
5 minutes into it. It was the worst movie ever.
How many
The worst.
suicide missions can there be before they just become missions?
Right.
Right?
Who's the female lead in that?
I don't know.
What's her name?
I don't know.
I hate to do it to you.
Does anybody have any idea?
You talking about Harley Quinn? I'm trying to.
Yes,
her
that's
real
her.
name.
That's her.
Harley Quinn is.
Yeah,
Harley
that's
Quinn
the
is all
character.
that.
That's the character. Yeah.
She is all that.
Margot Robbie is her
Margot,
name.
yeah.
Yeah, she's a stunner.
The real deal.
Yeah.
But see, she needs to eat a little more, man. She needs to, get some more hips. But as far as her character and who she is, I love how she carries herself.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Not Harley Race.
No.
The wrestler.
Or Harley, what's her name? It's not Harley Quinn, Harley Rain. There you go. Go do a little Google search.
Yeah. No, Megan Rain is who you're thinking of.
No, I think Harley. Rain.
Really? I don't know who that is. Wow.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a Harley for sure. R-A-I-N-E.
Top 5 Harleys.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we got to go with the Sportster, huh?
We got to start with the bike, man.
What about the Fat Boy? Don't forget the Road King, huh?
Does the Road King make your Mount Rushmore?
What is he doing now? Is he still in this trailer?
Yes, he's still in suburban New Jersey. I saw some post yesterday. He appeared on somebody's podcast, and he's I think he was actually outside without clothing on. And there was yeah.
What is happening?
I don't know what's going on. It was on his Instagram at Tony Bruno Show.
There you go, man. There you go.
There you go.
It's a free plug.
There's nothing walking around outside naked doing a hit.
Yeah.
A
yeah.
hit of any
Doing a
kind.
hit on one of your shows.
Exactly, right?
Hey, Harry, I'm free now.
Yeah, right.
I'm out here in nature.
Right.
I'm in my birthday suit.
Right. I'm free balling, Harry.
Not free falling.
No, not Tom Petty.
Oh my god. Damn it,
Bro, and that's exactly how it would go down too.
Oh yeah. Trust me, I lived it for years. It's permanently scarred me.
There is something to that, by all means. All right, second hour coming up here.
Hold on, no, 91 Ellis Extra said he wasn't naked, he was wearing a cowboy hat.
Okay. No, hat is clothing now.
Yeah, that's right.
If your head is warm, there's nothing wrong with that. A hat is clothing, for sure.
Oh my goodness. And his wife, man, she just rocks along with it, bro.
It's not his wife. They're not married.
Oh, it is his significant other.
Yes.
Manager.
Yes. Barrett, Carlos Dew has a question on here from about a half hour ago.
What was that?
That he's annoyed that you have not answered.
What is this?
He asked.
Well, are we in break yet?
No, we're going to be in break.
All right, well, we'll do it during the break.
So hold on.
Yeah.
There's the music. We're back.
All right. Hey, Barrett, were you there when Darryl Tapp wanted to beat up Les Bowen for tweeting out that he was tired of covering this slapdick team while he was standing in the locker room with him?
No, I didn't. I wasn't there.
You
I
weren't
wish
there?
I was. No. In fact, I got in trouble, man. I can't go. I can't go to practice anymore.
Why?
You got kicked out?
Well, I didn't get kicked out. I just can't use my media credentials to go to practice.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because every time I go to practice, and I have to leave. If I don't leave early, then players will come talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, Brandon Brooks was, he came over to talk to me, and I told him, "Hey man, you got to stay, 6 feet away from me." And we were talking. Well, 6 feet isn't enough. They're saying that I can't talk to people because I'm using my media. I have my media pass, and the other people, the other reporters and stuff get mad because they think I have instant access to the players. I'm interviewing them. When all they're doing is come over there talking to them. We're chopping it up. We're friends. I'm around these guys.
It's ridiculous. If I was there as a member of the media, I would expect that. I expect a former player to have the, get a little bit more than I would. I mean, what are you serious?
Oh, wait. Somebody dimed you out for talking to players?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they dimed me out, but
that sounds like they did.
Yeah. So I can't go on a media pass. If I have to go on a
former player pass.
Yes.
Wow.
What's the difference?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll have access to him then, and instead of the media pass. So he's saying, well, the NFL can come in and fine you if I'm, if they see me talking to him, because it's violating, the rules they have set in place.
Wait. So where is this violation taking place? In the locker room?
No, I wasn't in the locker. We were on the field. I wasn't even on the field. I was sitting. I was actually. I was right on the sideline. You know what I mean? I'm right there on the sideline. I wasn't even on the field. I was like 10 feet away from the field. But since he came and talked to me, and it started out the first practice. The first practice, the same thing happened. I know
you mentioned that the first practice. I remember you talking about that.
And Brandon Brooks, and Brandon Graham were talking to me. And then last week, Hertz is my frat brother. So frat, he saw me. He said, "Frat, what's up?" And he came over. We have a secret handshake we use, and he wanted to do that. I said, "Oh, don't come next to me. Come next to me, because if you come next to me, they're gonna kick me out of practice." He said, "Oh, don't worry about them." And he wanted to come up anyway. I said, "Man, I can't. I'm sorry, bro. Just hit me up later."
Wow.
This is I don't understand this. Who has the problem though? Is it the team, or do you think it's somebody in the media? Like, do we need to employ John McMullen?
Yeah.
See if he can track down who the rat is here.
Yeah, we might have to, because I can just go to practice on an alumni pass. I can't go on a media pass. I can't have media credentials.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't stop you from talking to the players.
Right, exactly.
Right. So what's the beef? I'm trying to figure out what the problem is.
I don't know, because I'm not talking about anything football related when I'm just chopping it up with them like that. I'm not even interviewing them. We're talking about everything but that. If we were actually talking about going fishing.
Yeah.
And he wants to go on a boat on Friday because he's off on Friday. So that's what we were discussing. Brandon wants to go out on a boat. He wants to get away from football a little bit. So he wants to go on a boat, and we're going to go out and go.
Just don't make it a Lake Minnetonka boat. No. We don't need one of those episodes here.
Mode,
right?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Yes, I do.
Who was that guy from South Jersey? McKinney. He was on that team.
Was he?
Yeah, he went to Miami. He's from Willingboro. I think he's from Willingboro, New Jersey. He was on that boat.
Yeah, I know his mom too.
Yeah,
I saw her like 3 weeks ago at the post office. Yeah. He played Miami offensive tackle.
Yeah, left tackle. Yeah.
He lives down in Florida now. He retired now. Yeah, he's retired now, not doing anything. He's made enough money. He don't have to do anything.
Yeah. I think he was on that Clinton Portis team.
Right.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
I think so. That was that
Right.
time they came and played Penn State to
Okay,
open the
yeah.
season
That makes
and
sense.
just throttled Penn State. They ran behind the left side of that offensive line all night long.
Yeah, they
I'm not
did.
kidding you. I was there.
Amazing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yep.
That's
Well,
simply ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. I can't believe that happened to you.
In fact,
Yeah.
it was the Adam Talaferro game. It was the game where Adam Talaferro let him out of the tunnel
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
after
yeah.
he was
After he
recovering
came
from his
rehab, yeah.
injuries. Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, he's
Wow.
another class act.
Oh,
Oh,
totally.
no question. No
Totally.
question.
Come on, man. We haven't
South
talked to him in
Jersey.
a while.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. His mom worked at the preschool my daughter went to.
Hmm.
You know, she was telling me about it. He had just, she was just in preschool, and he had just had the injury like 2 years before.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's now a big time lawyer. I think
Yeah.
he's running for office. Yeah,
It
but
was
I can't believe it, man.
McGee Rehab Center was where he spent a lot of time coming back. So
Well,
are we going to have Dan Lust on at some point? Is that
Yeah.
for real?
I'll send Dan the link here. We'll
Do we
Dan-
have you, Dan?
We'll get Dan on at 12:40.
I can't believe somebody told on me, man, or they saw.
No,
it.
it sounds
That's
exactly what
weak.
this is.
That's
Yeah.
weak.
This is
Yeah.
terrible.
Gal Media Property in partnership with
Right?
JAKIB Media.
Yeah.
And I get along with all of them.
And you, my friend, are caught in the middle.
The Middle starts now on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, second hour here. We will be joined at 12:40 or so by Dan Lust, as he's going to let us know about this crazy story that's brewing in Nebraska. Now, he also has that horrible, horrific Omar Vizquel story that we could talk about if you'd like. But, I mean, I just brace yourselves. That is not an easy conversation to have.
Well, we can also go into the little Deshaun Watson with him. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go with Dan Lust.
I'm saying the two big things. I'm sorry, the two big things that he himself worked on was this big Nebraska story and the Omar Vizquel thing that he actually broke. But yes, we can talk about anything with him. I'm sorry.
At Sports Law Lust on social media.
So what's this Nebraska story? I still don't know what you guys.
You know what? I don't know to the extent of it, Barrett. And almost normally I would tell you when we go through it, but I think we should just wait.
Okay.
I think we should just wait and have Dan pop on and see what the hell this thing is going on.
Right. Right.
Because it's bad. All right. Now, this is what I got from him. Oh, man, this Omar Vizquel, because I was going back and forth on DM with him, and this Omar Vizquel story is just awful. Awful. If it's true, then I hope he gets the worst possible punishment that's available. But this Nebraska story, he said yesterday, 524, it's good, picking up a lot of traction. He had lined up Nebraska media for the next couple of days, only one outside the state that reached out. This is yesterday at 6 p.m. Now, Dan is on everywhere. Dan is on national radio. Dan is on TV. So Dan is known. He's really done a lot to build his brand. Dan is well known as a sports lawyer, sports law analyst, right? We're the only ones who reached out about this Nebraska thing, and now he says it's blowing up. It's blowing up. So we may be ahead of this thing right as it comes out.
Absolutely. I'm not aware of the Vizquel story.
Omar Vizquel is being accused of sexually assaulting a bat boy on a minor league team that he was managing. And I'll leave it at that.
Does that have to do with washing his back or something? Yeah.
Now you know a detail that I did not.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I do know it.
Oof. Actually, you know what? Let's break here, and then we'll break when we're back.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
Trying to look up this Nebraska story.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. It's got to it has to have something to do with all these players leaving and why they're leaving, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm reading this off of Dan Lust's Instagram. He copies and pastes of an ESPN piece that says, on August 22nd, 2019, according to a lawsuit, Vizquel emerged naked from a shower, handed the man a bar of soap, and said, quote, "Wash my damn back." The man...
You're still doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, I warned you, man.
The man, humiliated, intimidated, and frightened of what would happen if he disobeyed, complied with Vizquel's demand. Afterward, the complaint continues. Multiple Barons staff members, Barons is the name of the baseball team, I guess, including the clubhouse manager, who upon the man's hiring allegedly told him everything that happens in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse, and laughed when he told he had washed Vizquel's back. It goes on with many more things, I guess. But yeah, wow.
Now, this is a story that Lust and them broke. So,
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not picking up.
Yeah, first reported by Conduct Detrimental. That's the name of his podcast.
Correct.
Yeah.
Telling you, man. This was not the reason why we have him on, just so you know that. This is
no.
But look, it's adding to the credibility. This dude is breaking stuff left and right, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have the conference realignment stuff to talk about as well. All right. Well, who's pitching tonight? Because I have the Dodgers
Gibson against Price.
Yeah, I have the Dodgers -1 again tonight. I love the Dodgers -1 tonight. Needed that rain. I guess people didn't look at the forecast. That sucker, that sell should not have come as any surprise. So again, and we didn't talk about this to anything near the extent of what we did or what I did on the show right as we were leading up to game time, because that's when the weather was playing even more of an impact. But think about it. One of the biggest weaknesses of this team outside of defense is what? Bullpen. Yes. So if you see rain and a possible rain delay coming after the start of a game, that is always a certainty that the starter is going to be done, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So again, you bet on, Max Scherzer is great. I'm not knocking him, but Dodgers don't have the worst or second or third worst bullpen in baseball.
No.
So it worked out. And man, thankfully the rain killed that Mets game. Oof.
I mean,
I did not expect that to happen. Yeah, all right. So Phillies are plus 120 at home. I have the run line at 1 right now. Meaning if you normally at 1.5, you have to bust it down and you sacrifice some juice. I see -1 at -110. I'm great with that.
Yeah, in fact, that was it. How do you pronounce his name? Vesia for the Dodgers. He came in for like an inning and 2/3 and he was lights out. He had 4 strikeouts, faced 5 guys and struck 4 of them out.
Amazing. Now, here's what I'd ask you guys. How much does last night, and it shouldn't, if anything, it should probably reinforce. Like, if the Phillies got rocked and we opened up with, I don't know, a show today before we got to Jeremy Piven of the Phillies lose 8-3, no rain, nothing like that. Aaron Nola gets poked around. I think we look at the NL East a little differently, right? Like, oh, man, I would never take a bet on the Phillies. They're not going to win this thing, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is that the only thing that stopped Aaron Nola last night, and really the only thing that stopped Nola, was the rain. Nobody on LA could do a damn thing against Aaron Nola. The Phillies have just gained, you as the bettor, have just gained 15 points of value from heading into last night to where they are now.
Well, I'd say Scherzer had a little bit to do with it, too. I mean, they couldn't hit him.
No, they could not. But I think, again, Harry, for me, I'm looking at it like the chase to win the NL East, and I'm thinking, well, what's the bigger issue that we have right now? Is it inconsistent hitting to watch, or we, meaning like us watching, not we as like, hey, that's my team, we. Barrett can only say that about his Eagles, but because he played with them. But here's the thing. It's more so about Aaron Nola and the confidence we had of him going up against a legit team, not just the Mets who were on a total slump.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right?
You're talking about the expectation of him,
Bingo.
Yeah, it can reinvigorate your confidence in him.
Bingo.
To be the legit number 2 starter on this
being
team.
Our second starter,
And
Wheeler him, I, you're right. I mean, he hasn't shown consistency, as a starter. One game he looks like he's, the big, big unit. And then all of a sudden, bam, he turns right back around and you can't throw anything, no heat on his fastball at all. So, I think it did give us a little more confidence in his ability to be our number 2. But, I mean, of course, I could definitely see it jumping up 15 points, more confidence in this team as a whole.
Well, on the other side, on the flip side, does it take away some confidence that you've been having with Bryce Harper, who struck out 3 times last night in 4 plate appearances, and a couple times Segura was on base ahead of him?
So I've changed my outlook on the MVP award, and I'm taking the same process that the 3 of us, with the help of Bob Wankel last Friday, and I'm going to apply it to a different team.
The Braves.
Yeah, and I'm going to hammer Freddie Freeman.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Damn right.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Yep. Now, Harper's at plus 275. He was 400 right after the Mets series.
Oh, dude, he just went against Scherzer, so I'm not going to take away that much from him. You want to be
the MVP. Get a hit off of Max Scherzer with a guy on base, please.
The point being is that so many people continue to bet on Bryce Harper even after or during that game last night.
Wow.
That the value has dropped even more so. So
Incredible.
Yes, Barrett, to your point, I'm staying the hell away from Bryce Harper.
Right.
Wow.
No, sir.
What Realmuto though? What Realmuto though?
Well, he's not in the hunt on this.
Now, Jeremy Piven has just liked a couple of tweets that we put out about him. He's got over 2 million followers.
Are you following him?
Wow.
Of course I am.
Well, I got to follow him now, too.
2.2 million followers.
I doubt he's going to follow us back, right?
Well, he's only following 481 people.
Yeah,
are you following me, man? Now, he would have rolled that out.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Tony would have definitely, that would have been maybe the second question of the entire conversation. By the way, Jeremy, you following me, man? No doubt about it.
And that's absolutely the way he would have said it. Also.
Oh yeah,
and wouldn't have thought anything about other than art. You know, you need to let me know.
And then if he wasn't, which he wasn't, he'd go, "I hate to do it."
Right.
I hate to do it.
And that would totally derail the conversation until we have like 2 minutes left with him, and then it's time to promote whatever he's doing.
Right. You still want to, don't want to follow me after all this?
Hey, would you tell him, Harry? I'm a great follower. I'm a great follower, Harry.
Great follower.
Following me. Can you imagine that? Now, I don't see him liking anything. Was it just your tweet?
No, he liked. I put out a
tweet.
Yes,
he did.
Yeah, and JAKIB Media tweet, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize his face on his avatar. That's all. This is pretty damn good.
I think he kind of was like, when he first got on, was like, what am I doing? And then about 2 minutes into it, he started to warm up to the whole thing.
Well, how about the thing where he's like, I thought it was radio.
Right.
And then he comes on and then he looks at us and he's like, these guys are a bunch of schlub.
Yeah, man, look at these.
Right.
Look at these shit rules.
He almost hit us with the, I hate to do it to you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm out of here. But, I had to warm him up a little bit. Once I warmed him up with the buttercream, he was good.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's the thing where it's like, I think he just, like, if you don't expect to be seen and then you put yourself on, it's like, oh man, is this Diane Sawyer interview, right? Is this some major Stern thing? And he looks at us and he's just like, oh, okay, I can get away with being in a bathrobe in my house.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Now, Joey B on the stream pointing out the obvious here. Piven's PR firm runs his Twitter feed. Yeah, I get it. I don't care. The fact is that they liked tweets that mentioned this show to 2.2 million people. Right. I don't care who actually typed it in.
Whoa. We typing in some BS now. I ain't washing nobody damn back.
What are you talking about?
No, look at the stream.
Hold on.
Roman.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely right. Maybe I didn't watch anybody. Jeff McClain at that too. Come on now. No.
I want to know who ratted you out.
Maybe it was Jeff.
I mean,
no.
Was it ESP? ESP?
It might have been him.
Was it Howard?
You think so?
Now Barrett's muted.
Oh, did he mute himself?
Why is he always touching the microphone? Yeah, we can't hear you.
Why don't you try it again? I didn't mute you. I can't unmute you since you muted you.
I'm a touchy-feely guy. Touchy-feely.
Touchy-feely gets you in trouble these days, okay?
Right.
Aren't you aware of that? Have you not been paying attention?
We just talked about it.
Yes. Keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
Isn't that a song?
Yes. I forget what song is that? Something keep your hands.
Yeah, keep your
hands to yourself.
Yeah, Georgia Satellites is the band that sang.
How does that just come from out of nowhere?
I don't know. I know more about music than I do about sports.
Yeah, he's the Kevin Kincaid of Georgia Satellite, where you name a song and Harry knows the song and the album and the year it came out.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I knew you were a savant when you turned back around and you talking about the armpit hairs.
With Patti Smith. Yeah, exactly right.
Patti Smith.
I was emotionally scarred when I saw the cover of that record when I was like 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, my God.
No, I didn't realize that.
Take a weed whacker to that stuff.
Oh my goodness! It brought back a memory when I was young, man. I was probably around the same age. I think I was like 10, and there was this German lady who lived a couple houses down. and she came out, she was eating. First of all, they ate raw hamburger with onions in it, and they season it, and it's raw hamburger. So she was eating a sandwich like that with raw hamburger. That was grossing me out. But then she had on a tank top, and I saw I saw the.
It looks like a chia pet coming out from underneath her arm.
Can we get back to
enough.
the Kell story? I mean, my God.
Yeah, let's get it back to the Eagles here, please.
So it's raw hamburger and armpit hair. I was scarred, bro.
Dude, that would change my whole viewpoint.
The audience. What are you talking about?
That would change my whole viewpoint on the country itself. Right. And I'm part German.
It's enough to make Harry a xenophobe.
Yes, I would disavow my heritage.
All right, we got a break. We're back in 3 on the network, still live on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. Dan Lusk's going to join us at 15. It's the middle. All right, reminder here, we're live and local from the Fritz and B and Cooley Law Studios. If you know someone who suffered a personal injury, contact Brian Fritz directly in the middle here. Sponsored by Pure Bull Beef Jerky. Get yours now. Go to steersnacks.com. My goodness, man. I mean, whew. You guys are on something else with this Kell crap, man.
Oh man, today has been a great show.
Well, Piven did a lot for the show.
Yeah.
Like if you took that 25-minute block of Piven out, I don't know.
We had nothing.
A great show, right?
No, we had nothing.
Right. It's not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That was wild.
It is now. Let me see here. Where is my countdown app? I got a new one. It's great. Eagles game is 32 days away from now, and Cowboys Bucks the start of the season 29 days. So we're getting there inside a month to the Eagles game.
Right there.
It cannot come soon enough.
So let's look at this really quick. Everybody is still hurt, right? I know today's a walkthrough, so you're not really going to know, but this is where I think
a lot of injuries. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, did you see this? Like the most ridiculous thing out. So I guess this guy, Trey Wingo, put out a tweet a couple of days ago, or maybe like a week ago or so. Let's see if this is somebody we can have some fun with. Hello? Hello?
Yes, hi, good afternoon.
Yes.
Mr. Shander?
Mr. Who?
Mr. Shander, this is. I just said I want to speak with Mrs. Shander.
Oh, okay. Shander. Yeah. I thought you said Chandler. He's next door.
Yep. No, Shander.
Okay, Shander. Yeah, that's me.
Right?
It happens all the time. I get
Shandling.
He gets my mail.
Sir, my name is Steve, and I'm calling with U.S. Home Financials on a recorded line. How are you doing?
Are you looking for Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Oh, he's He's next door.
I just said I'm looking to speak to Mr. Shander. It's Shander. Are you Mr. Shander?
No, I'm Mr. Chandler.
I'm sorry?
I'm Mr. Chandler.
Are you Eytan?
No.
Are you Eytan?
No. Have you eaten? Have you eaten today?
All right. Excuse me, what?
Did you eat today? You said, have I eaten?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh. Okay.
Wow. Eaton Chandler. So now you know what that's gonna. When we hear Eytan Shander, not Eaton Chandler.
No, no. He's next door, huh?
He's next door.
Oh my God, that was probably a real call too. Who knows?
It might be.
Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
It's funny though.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
So you know what's making a slow, subtle return right now? Voicemail. People actually calling you and leaving you a voicemail message as opposed to just calling you and not. And, you know, we went through this stretch where nobody was leaving voicemail messages anymore. But
Right.
in the stream, we just had some fun with a telemarketer or scammer, if you will. It's not really a telemarketer. That's putting it too nice. And I had this the other day where I had to talk to, it was Pat on QVC, the host on QVC. She called me from a 609 number. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, the only 609s that I know I have in my phone, like Barrett, you know, people
Right.
from South Jersey, I already have them in my phone. So I'm like, I'm not touching this. And I get a voicemail. I call it right back. And I'm just thinking to myself, all three of us and everybody in the stream, Ron, everybody's a victim of all this scamming. There's no way that you answer, unless it's on a radio bit, there's no way that you answer a number you don't know, right?
No.
Barrett doesn't even answer the numbers he does know.
No, I don't answer any number I don't recognize.
Right. And the text now, it's too easy to do text and stuff on red. So what I've noticed is people are savvy now trying to get around the whole spam telemarketer stuff. And they're leaving voicemails, and then people are calling them back. It's almost like we're returning to a society, dare I say. Yes.
Wow.
Could you imagine what life was like where you couldn't get in touch with somebody right away? You had to leave a message on their home phone.
On their answering machine.
Yeah, wait for them to get home.
Right.
Bro,
or leave a message with their mom, like when you called your friends when you were a young kid.
Yeah.
Hey, can you tell Steve that I called? And then you know that the mom she's gonna be like, yeah, forget it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How about your kids now? How about the younger generation? Imagine if they had to go find somewhere and they didn't have their cell phone.
Yeah.
Or I can remember printing out directions. They wouldn't know what to do. They couldn't leave the house. They couldn't leave the front door without, having, Google Maps or something to get them where they needed to go. They don't even know how to do things like that now.
Wow.
Or maybe use a map.
No, MapQuest. Remember MapQuest?
Right.
Yeah.
When you downloaded the and you printed out the directions. I can remember printing out directions like when I first retired, I was a partner in a sports agency, and I can remember I had to go to Georgia or Ohio, and I printed out the directions on how to get to the house of the guy I was going to visit, trying to recruit.
Right.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. That's what you had to do.
Right.
No, it's true. You definitely had to. And you'd pull over, you'd ask somebody in the gas station something.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are long gone.
Or I would just jot them down. Like if I didn't want to print off all the directions, I would just sort of jot them down. But I'd look it up, then jot it down on a little piece of paper in my car. In fact, I did that one time going to a remote broadcast at one of Jaws's golf courses, Ramblewood.
Yes.
Right. That's right.
I had to go do a show with Rob Ellis from the bar there during the Mike Miss golf outing one year. And I did not use Waze, the app. I did not have it at that time. And Rob was all about it. So Rob used Waze and found his way to the bar and was waiting for me to do the show. Here, that's a kind of a weird little intersection. There's a turnoff there. It's not really on the main road. You got to turn off the main road and go back into like a neighborhood, and then there's Ramblewood. I blew right past the turn. And I'm still going about 2 miles, and I'm realized like I did something wrong. Like there's this golf course I passed it. So I turn around and I'm calling Rob, and he's not answering the phone. Here, if I just had the damn Waze app up, I would have been there. And I came in hot right at the start of the show. And it gave us the first segment of content too, mind you. But like that was the day that I downloaded Waze. Because I'm not going through this anymore.
Yeah.
You're just not doing it.
No, I'm not doing it to myself.
No, that's the thing where, it takes something like that, right? It should take sitting in a line of 50 cars in front of you
to get Easy Pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Okay, that's it. I'm never going through this again.
I was an early adopter to Easy Pass. I got that way back in the 90s in Jersey, because Jersey had it before PA had it.
And remember, you had to have your own, like, you couldn't use the Jersey one in New York. You couldn't use the Connecticut one in Jersey. Like, they had different ones to where you were SOL.
Right.
Coming from Connecticut to the shore.
Right.
Because you had to, use your pass when you could. Then you had to go to cash and stuff like that.
Right.
Phillies Dodgers plus 900 for the highest scoring baseball game today.
Really?
Yeah. I don't hate that.
Well, it's very humid here, so the ball will probably be popping. Yeah.
I don't.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like 100 degrees or something today, isn't it?
Oh,
like
yeah.
98, something like that.
Well, heat
Really
index.
bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
I don't know. I count on Barrett to inform me of that stuff because I don't watch the news. I just look at my phone for my weather app, and it's a lot of times it's wrong. So
well, it is. It's been wrong these past 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
The weather reports have been all wrong. Like it rained last night.
Yeah, a lot.
It wasn't supposed to rain last night.
Well, it was a thunderstorm. I mean,
Yeah.
these things can pop up anytime, right?
Well,
That kind of pissed me off.
But the cells were there. That's what I'm saying, man. Last night should not have come to any surprise.
Wow. It surprised me. I was actually working out in my garage. I was putting in some fiberglass stuff, and it started raining on my fiberglass. I had just laid down. So I had to cover it real fast and woke up this morning. It's still kind of tacky.
Mm-hmm.
No excuse, man.
Anytime it rains in August when it's in the 90s at some point in the day is not a surprise. It shouldn't be.
I'm telling you, man. We covered that for an hour and 15 minutes on Osimo and then another hour and a half on iHeart, brother.
Oh, yeah?
You're listening to the wrong. You're probably up there watching some Gearhead show, not even knowing that this thing is going to pop into rain. You're watching the F1 in Monaco. No wonder. Right?
Yeah.
Seriously.
The stream is loving how you played with that telemarketer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Is that
it's a good bit? They're saying you're like the Jerky Boys.
Well, I'm inspired by both Frank Rizzo and our buddy, the comedian from Crank Yankers, and Jim Florentine.
Oh, yeah.
Who Martinez is supposed to hook us up with, right?
I know. It's not going to happen.
I mean, like, if there's anybody who can appreciate what Florentine has done, especially with the tapes that he's put out where he's ripping and making fun. You remember we played that? Oh, let me put my brother on. Hold on, let me put my brother on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, God. And then all of a sudden, Martinez just ghosts us.
Mm-hmm.
Last we heard from him, I think the last thing he said on this show as a guest was, "Oh, don't worry, I got you with that
Jim Florentine.
I got you with Florentine guy."
Right.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the network. Dan Lust is hanging. We see him popping up here in the green room, so we'll be joined by him coming up in a matter of seconds, and we'll be back in 3 on Sports Map Radio. It is The Middle, live from Philadelphia. What's up, Dan?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Dan.
How's it going, bro?
Good. Excited. Always fun to join the show, too.
Man, your Instagram is blowing up, man.
You should see my Twitter account, Harry.
Yeah.
Nice. What are you at? I didn't. We didn't check the latest here.
Did you guys not see the news that I sent out, Eytan?
No, I've been talking. So I purposely did not get into the actual Nebraska story. And what I did was just mention the story that you broke as well with Omar Vizquel. And now these guys they can't help themselves. They're combing through the details like a paralegal who works for you. It's crazy right now. I told them, I warned them about the Omar Vizquel details, and Harry and Barrett can't get enough of this.
Oh, yeah. Wash my back, man.
Oh.
I'm not shocked that Harry's also convinced that I'm still related to Kendra Lust.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to dispel that rumor, actually.
Yeah, I can't disprove it, so I guess.
Well, you are moving up on the all-time lusts.
That's right.
Sure. Right?
You're
on the Mount Rushmore.
He is on the Mount Rushmore of lusts.
I think I'm solidly in the top 2, 1 and 2, Kendra and Dan.
It's going to take a lot to overcome Kendra. You do realize this, right?
Probably mountains. But listen, in Nebraska, I think I'm actually above Kendra. So if they show the map of the United States, there's one state that I get. It's Nebraska. Maybe New York, my home state.
Okay, let's do this here. This is going to be a great tease as why people should be constantly following and watching in the break on the radio and not just on Sports Map. So we've got 90 seconds until we're back. You've got a minute here if you can. And we're going to dive into this and take a lot of time to look at this. But if you can, in like 50 seconds, what's the tease about what the hell's going on in Nebraska?
The tease. So I think what we've learned in the Big Ten saga is that there is some incompetency up top. I think we saw it again play with the Oklahoma-Texas nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
That's not where it started. It started the year prior when they completely dropped the ball on about 4 or 5 different levels and nobody called them on it. So my friends—
That's Nebraska or the Big Ten? Sorry, Dan.
The Big Ten.
The Big Ten dropped the ball. And my friends in Nebraska called me and they said, "Do you think anything is wrong with this?" So I've been studying it for a couple months and ready to pull the tea here.
See, so I don't want, maybe people misunderstood. I think when we talked about this and mentioned this is the Nebraska story, maybe people thought like Nebraska was shit out of luck or Nebraska was going to be in like super hot water, but it's actually Nebraska who dropped the dime for you, right?
Nebraska took a grenade and they threw it over at Indianapolis at Big Ten HQ.
Oh, I love it. All right. See, this is it. Now we have the ins and outs of this story. Especially, and look, this is always going to help us for any type of betting futures as well. If there's a team that's in shambles as a result of this, we're going to take full betting advantage of this. All right, here we go.
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
As mentioned, Dan Lust. Now, this is, again, why you should be listening and watching in the breaks here on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. We return here to Sports Map Radio as well. You can follow Dan on Twitter at SportsLawLust. IG is the same. I'm not on there. So,
yes, it is.
I want to make sure we want to promote everything. Harry is the big Instagram honk on this program.
Do it
All
for
right,
the
brother.
gram.
So we appreciate you joining us. We've been teasing this story now for an hour and 40 minutes. I've had to beat back, metaphorically, of course, because I can't do it physically, Barrett Brooks from being like, come on, what's going on with the story? What's going on with the story? So now take the floor, Dan Lust. What the hell is going on with the Big Ten and Nebraska involved in alerting you?
I guess I'll dispel a little bit of rumors. First of all, I am I'm an honorary Cornhusker. I am followed by Adrian Martinez, the starting quarterback for the team. So I'm a fan of the university. This is not a project that Nebraska is putting on. It's an independent project. But if anybody remembers, there was a vote 11-3 allegedly from the Big Ten, and they said 11 schools wanted to play football and 3 schools did not. And those schools were Nebraska, Ohio State, and Iowa. So if you have any kind of indication of who's behind a project trying to make the Big Ten look bad for canceling football, you can look at those 3 schools. I think that's a solid bet. I think, again, I'm just trying to put a spotlight on this. We all grew up in the history books reading stories about tyrannical leaders that do bad things, right? We read the stories so we learn from history and it can't repeat itself. I understand these people that are saying, hey, let's let this be and let's have Nebraska just be in the Big Ten and let's everything be nice and fun and we'll put it in the past. But I'm like, it doesn't seem like anybody ever took accountability for what happened in this nonsense. So we're poking a few holes. We're poking the bear, so to speak. So we'll see what comes of it.
So is this something that could lead to maybe Nebraska going back and joining their old friends in the Big 12? What's left of it?
Assuming the Big 12 exists, conversation over Harry. No, I don't think so. I think the project is done by Ohio State. There's a bunch of heavy hitters in this. The captain of the Ohio State football team is in this, so it's not Nebraska focused news. Eytan, to your point, could there be some lack of a holding calls that are given in Nebraska's favor? Potentially, because of these Big Ten sham refs. So, but I think it's an important story, and the reason why it's Nebraska-centered news, at least from my vantage point as an attorney, this was again, people can read this. There was a period where the Big Ten announced the Big Ten schedule. This was pre-pandemic or pre-cancellation, and they put out a 10-game schedule. Less than a week later, they go, just kidding, the season's canceled. And so everyone's like, that was odd. And so then there's a whole uproar from parents. And then they announce, okay, we've heard your concerns, but the Big Ten cancellation will not be revisited. It's final. Stop bothering us. And then Nebraska players decide to sue the Big Ten, and they threaten to depose Kevin Warren under oath. They want to get real answers and real testimony. And they're about to get that the week of September 12th. And all of a sudden, Big Ten football comes back, and they said, you know what? It's safe to play. We finally decided. We thought about it. We reconsidered it. It's safe. It has nothing to do with political pressure. It has nothing to do with lawsuits. We just thought about it. We made like $100 million mistake, but we unwound it. Obviously, that's what happened. Everyone just believed us.
Wow.
That is
now Barrett's muted himself again.
Come on, Barrett. What the hell what's going on over there? Harry, you want to take over?
I have no idea. So this has nothing to do then, Dan, with an exodus of players from the Nebraska program.
No, who said that, Harry? Is that the same person that said that I was going to announce Nebraska to the SEC? Because that is equally blasphemous. No,
No, Nebraska to the SEC. Wow.
Listen, all I did, and Eytan can attest to this, and Harry has did the same post on Instagram. I just said Nebraska fans will be very happy, and the Big Ten will not be happy. I think I delivered on that.
Yes.
Promise. People took it, and mind you guys, there's a picture of me in front of a video camera, so it's probably a good chance that a video camera is involved in this announcement. But yeah, people took it a little wild and said Nebraska to the SEC, Nebraska Television Network. So people can run with it, but I think I delivered that this is something the Big Ten will hate, and it is something that will make Nebraska fans happy. The premise is how Nebraska's lawsuit helped save the season, so I think it's definitely out there.
That's absolutely crazy, man. Going forward, man, with this shakeup, when do you think a lot of this stuff is going to happen as far as the breaking down of conferences, building up of conference? How early can this happen?
Yeah, so the dates that people need to pay attention to, obviously the first one is 2025. That's when Texas and Oklahoma are telling people, hey, we're going to leave the Big 12 once our television contract expires. I think if you talk to people on the inside, I think Texas and Oklahoma will find a way to leave a little bit earlier. Maybe SEC helps foot the bill. The date that people should be paying attention to that I'm not hearing enough is 2023. That is the year that the Big Ten's grant of rights expires. So, I try to read the tea leaves, I try to listen. There's a lot of reports that maybe Kansas is going to the Big Ten, maybe Iowa State is going to the Big Ten. But if the SEC all of a sudden gets 16 schools, you'd be crazy not to think that the Big Ten wasn't also considering going to 16 schools. Big Ten's at 14 now. And I don't know, you have a bunch of schools kind of floating in limbo, the 8 schools in the Big 12, and a lot of them are geographically very close to Big Ten network or Big Ten nation. So, yeah, I think 2023, if teams are being smart, and I think if Kevin Warren is kind of half paying attention, he's not asleep at the wheel again, I think he'll make some phone calls, do the same exact thing that Greg Sankey did, and try to recruit some schools before, the Vultures come in, the Pac-12, the AAC, the Sun Belt Conference. I think there's some big schools ripe for the taking there.
What did you think about the story that ESPN was sort of intervening and trying to link up the remaining Big 12 schools with the AAC for TV purposes?
I didn't. Maybe there was nothing to that story. I have no idea if that's true or not true. What is a bombshell, unprecedented, has never happened before, is a conference commissioner threatens to sue ESPN.
Right.
Is it possible? We're all NBA fans. So is there tampering that occurs behind the scenes? How do all the contracts work out so perfectly with the Lakers, wherever LeBron goes? I'm sure there's some conversations that are occurring. It just makes a whole lot of sense. Is ESPN potentially involved? Sure. But the real story is that Bob Bowlesby, the commissioner over at the Big 12, kind of went scorched earth and said, you know what, ESPN, we will sue you for your involvement in this process. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Conference realignment back in 2011, 2012, obviously the conferences had to talk to the schools. I'm sure there was some kind of interference going on with the contract. But again, no one stepped up and said, yeah, we're going to not only sue you, the conferences that stole our schools, we're going over the top. We're not sending a cease and desist to Sankey or to the AAC. We're sending it to ESPN, right? The hand that could potentially feed you millions in TV media deals. So, yeah, that part's certainly unprecedented. We'll see if there's something that comes with it, but the threat itself is unprecedented.
What's the immediate reaction, or just what do you think the most immediate thing will be to come of the story that you start with, the bigger picture with Nebraska throwing that grenade and everything with the Big Ten? What do you think is the most immediate thing that will come from this, good or bad?
Well, I think I put Big Ten lawyers on notice for the last week or so when I was teasing this, and I think they'd be crazy not to have been on notice, or at least the PR team. Just think of it. I'm coming from a place where I support Big Ten football. I support, support Nebraska. I think that the leadership has been a little incompetent, and I think, for maybe a second time in 2 years, this uncancellation business made them look terrible. I think it just made them look really, not to say that, hey, they're trying to keep their players safe, they're not going to play, but then they turned around and played again. So that was kind of strike one. Strike two was allowing Texas and Oklahoma, the jewels of the Big 12, just to go over to the SEC, right? Geographically, what's to say that Big Ten shouldn't have those schools? So, I keep getting the sense that the Big Ten is asleep at the wheel, and I think someone needs to call them out. And, this group reached out to me. They said, can you get the message to Nebraska Nation about this kind of efforts to kind of point out Kevin Warren on some of his kind of missteps? And I've said, yeah, I believe in them, and I really do believe that the lawsuit helped. So I think there's going to be, into your question, I think there's going to be significantly more pressure on Kevin Warren to do something right. I haven't seen anything positive he's done in his tenure. So he's going to have to come up with results. because Sankey's making them look awfully bad over in the SEC.
Can I just say something real quick? Do you think that there is any coincidence here, or maybe that's the wrong term, but I can't help but notice that the same day we're talking to you, Dan Lust, that's Sports Law Lust on Twitter and IG, about this ridiculous story in the Big Ten fueled by Nebraska, they release arguably the most heinous of uniforms to ever be worn in the history of college football.
Yeah.
Are they just feeling themselves so much, Dan, where it's like, hey, we can do anything right now?
I mean, if they have the great legal representation, maybe they feel that courage that they say, you know what, our lawyer will protect us no matter what we do.
Not liquid courage, legal courage.
Legal and liquid courage. You can have a little bit of both.
Yeah, you have to be belligerently drunk to come up with that. I agree.
I don't know if those jerseys are actually true. I saw a Reddit meme that was existed or created 4 years ago. It's kind of just resurfacing. But listen, I got to stand with my people over in Lincoln, Nebraska. I think for the most part, I'm reading the Twitter replies, I think 80% of this is largely very positive. And then there's the 20%, Harry, to your point, and Eytan to the initial point, that are saying hey, conference realignment is happening right now. Let's not call out the Big Ten if they're going to reshuffle some schools around. But Big Ten is a multi-million-dollar company. They're not going to lose a school like Nebraska. And mind you, Ohio State again is a part of this as well. So yeah, I don't really. And again, it's an independent project, but people from both universities decided to contribute to this. So yeah, I think it's interesting. Listen, we got to have fun. We got to call people out on their mistakes. That's what you guys do in the industry. People make mistakes. You got to call them out. And when you make a mistake, you got to own up to it. And I think everyone will acknowledge on the pro or negative side of this project, Kevin Warren has never owned up to any mistakes he has made in this process.
If you allow me to shift gears to professional football, the Deshaun Watson situation has some updates as he is, reporting to practice. He's not getting fined. He's in uniform. He's trying, he's sort of going through the motions. I don't think they're going to take him to Green Bay this weekend. He's not going to play. But what is the latest with that? Do you anticipate anything from a legal standpoint coming to a head here before the season?
Yeah, I've always said, and I'll put my flag in the sand. I've always said that he's going to be placed in the commissioner's exempt list before week 1. I've always said that. I still feel confident in it. I don't know the logic of Roger Goodell putting this decision in the Texans' hands to play him and not play him. The decision to cross the pond in Major League Baseball with Rob Manfred, similar scenario with Trevor Bauer's sexual assault allegations. They took him off the field. They took the decision out of Dave Roberts' hands. They say, you know what? We're putting him on this administrative leave list. It's paid leave. We're allowed to do it if you have some type of investigation. We take you off the field. And listen, you get paid. The team doesn't have to worry about the PR hit, and you're innocent until proven guilty. I can't for the life of me understand why Roger Goodell is putting the Texans in that situation. They're paying the guy, and they can't really play him, right, without getting this massive PR hit. He doesn't really want to play for the team. He's kind of, reports are he's demanding a trade. The only thing I can tell you, the update on the legal sense, I think the alleged accusers are really incensed that nothing occurred. I think everyone, in my position was checking reports. He's going to get put on the exempt list. There's, the standard is credible evidence. And when 20 women who allegedly have no connection to one another all allege similar facts, and it's not beyond a reasonable doubt because that's a criminal case. It's not preponderance of the evidence, which is 51%. I think he did it. Credible evidence is 10%. Is there something credible here to put him on the exempt list? And I certainly think that that's been satisfied. So, yeah, I think the fact that he wasn't placed on it, these accusers, the last really 10, 14 days, they've had 2 viral videos. It's one thing to kind of read these allegations in a complaint, a legal complaint. It's another thing to hear someone go on a talk show and talk about all these kind of heinous allegations.
Right.
And then also 10 criminal complaints filed directly by accusers to the police department. So that's them saying, you know what, maybe the civil process, our lawyers not being quick enough, we're going directly to the police. We're not paying the police a dime for this, but we're going to tell the police to do their job. So 10 criminal complaints are brand new, and only 8 of those women have filed civil complaints. So there's potentially 2 more accusers in all of this.
Wow. All right, real quick, we're going to break. Dan's still with us. We're back in 3 on Sports Map Radio. Yeah, and that's the thing where I think Harry referenced your colleague in this game yesterday, Andrew Brandt, explaining how he has seen, and he referenced the Roethlisberger, I believe, and there was somebody else who I forget he referenced, where it wasn't anything criminal, and in some cases it wasn't even settled, where a player can be held out, and then you look at all of the things that you just laid out, and this isn't about innocent or guilt. It's about a company saying, we don't want to take that PR hit. And they, through the union and the league's negotiations, correct me if I'm wrong, in the CBA, it allows the commissioner / league to say, yeah, we think by holding player A, B, or X out, it does a better perception, if you will, for our league. Right or wrong in that?
Yeah, no brainer. But just don't look any further than Major League Baseball. That's the decision Manfred made. Same exact mechanism, paid, and he let him have it. And then, while we're still on break, like, I don't know, Nike and all the Beats by Dre, everybody dropped Deshaun Watson. So that was my prediction. Okay, if those guys are going to drop him and suspend their relationship, like, I don't know, NFL's also a big business. I'm shocked that they're allowing that to happen. It doesn't matter that the union is protecting him. It's just a matter of image. And the allegations haven't gone away. If anything, we got some more detail to them. So, yeah, I think it's very surprising that they're just kind of letting this float out here, and Goodell seems to be okay just letting these kind of conversations happen.
Is the team necessarily not trading him because they can't, or can they trade him? What are the ramifications of him getting traded right now?
So I'm trying not to upset your fan base over in Philly. I keep
seeing go ahead. We do that every day.
Yeah.
I'm just listening. I'm not really under oath, but I'm kind of under oath here. I see these reports that a trade to Philly is in, and there's a bidding war, and I'm like, I don't know. Last I checked, the guy could be placed in the commission's exempt list for the entire season, and the team that gets him has to pay his salary for the entire season. Like, sure, could a team trade for him for pennies on the dollar? Yeah, of course. Like, you gotta take that risk sometimes. But like the Texans, the last I checked, were offering, like, I think the report is 3 first-round picks. It's a full ask for a guy that might not play the entire season. And mind you, these allegations keep getting worse and keeps being more pressure. So unless the Texans come way down, I don't think teams are ponying up. And mind you, I saw a tweet from Adam Schefter. Like, he said, I think someone in Watson's camp said a trade is imminent. It's going to happen. If it's haven't happened already, it's about to happen. And I'm like, I don't know, camp thing, there's so much interest. I just, from a legal perspective, this thing is not going to get cleared up for a while. So I'm not sure what GMs are kind of jumping to grab him right now.
So I wonder, and this is actually a twofold question, because it does open up the door for the player, especially represented by a union, to cry collusion if this thing is ever fixed or comes out that way. But, I wonder, hold on.
You're listening to The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry May.
So I'm just curious, as we're joined by Dan Lust at Sports Law Lust on Twitter and Instagram, and again, you'd need 32 teams and all, but it's not hard for 32 people, super powerful people, to get the word out to each other. Like, it's probably the best for our league to go ahead and do this. But Roger Goodell is surrounded by smart people, maybe not as smart as you, Dan, but same line of work. And I can't imagine that if Dan Lust were sitting next to and had both ears of Roger Goodell, Dan wouldn't say, look, don't allow this guy to be traded without coming out and saying, don't trade him. Like, send something you can behind these channels so that Deshaun is not traded until we make a decision. And we don't have the information yet to make a decision.
So I'll take you back, and maybe this is what's going on at NFL HQ. DeAndre Baker's case, that really kind of messy gun allegation case, that was a criminal charge, and the case went away. He got put in the commissioner's exempt list. The Giants cut him, and then he ended up in Kansas City. It turns out all these charges got dropped. So there are times when people are put on the commissioner's exempt list, and then they're fully exonerated. Doesn't make the NFL necessarily look good, but I think they do the right thing, right? They're coming from a good place. So I think what I think Goodell's maybe waiting for, right? Like, what's the pressure right now? How many people are watching practices and camp right now, right? He's not really playing in games. There's really no pressure. Could he be waiting for week 1? Sure. What could happen between week 1 and right now? I think criminal charges, these were brought to them in April. We've now have 10 more criminal complaints. These victims, or the alleged victims, are really putting a lot of pressure on a criminal, the DA's office to announce some type of charges here. Now, if there are charges that are announced, formal criminal charges, that's the DA's way of saying, hey, we have no affiliation to the NFL. We're an independent third party, and we think there's basically a 90% chance that we could convict him. That's what beyond a reasonable doubt is. It's really guilt that's just so obvious to anybody. Now, if that happens, Roger Goodell's kind of off the hook, right? He didn't have to make a tough decision. Hey, the DA's office over here, we're not even affiliated with them. They said that there was something here, and they said they could get a conviction.
Got it.
So I think that's what Goodell, in an ideal world, the DA's office announces criminal charges, and then the next day Goodell will do something. I think that's also very likely, but a route that I don't think he needed to take here.
Do you think how much jail time do you think comes with these allegations if he was found guilty of a couple of them?
Yeah, for the most part, these are misdemeanor charges which come with up to a year in jail. So it's not like the misdemeanor. A year in jail is a long time. The problem is there's 20 of these, right? So you don't just get one term for the total acts. You kind of have to multiply that out by the amount of times that you're found guilty. So if you told me that there was a potential here that he served more than 5 years in jail, like that's the nature of getting hit with potentially 20 criminal charges. Obviously, innocent until proven guilty. There are no criminal charges today. These are really serious sexual assault allegations. Assault is a very serious charge here. So it's to maybe the football side of it. It's like I don't know why anybody would be jumping to trade for him right now before we even know what the DA's office is going to do. At least let the DA's office say, "Hey, we're not going to hit him with criminal charges," and then really all you're worried about is a suspension potentially from the NFL for conduct detrimental, whatever you want to call it. At least you're not worried about a 5-year absence. Like, remember, guys, Michael Vick served time in jail. Like, just
right.
You throw a football really far doesn't mean you're immune from serving jail time.
No, absolutely, man. That's beautiful stuff, brother. We thank you so much, Dan. Anything you'd like to promote, get out on the way out?
The podcast is Conduct Detrimental, and all things sports and law. We covered Deshaun Watson a lot. Next time, guys, you can have me on to talk about this Cleveland Guardians nightmare, which I know.
Yes. Yes, we definitely will, because that apparently is not going away. So we definitely will. Dan, all the best, brother. Thank you so much. It's great chatting as always.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man.
My pleasure.
All right, there you have it. That's Sports Law Lust on Twitter and Instagram. Overtime here. We got a couple of minutes. Anything you want to get out that we haven't already?
That was crazy, man.
But
well, I mean, look at the stream. They're talking about Hurts, and they're saying that at this point, even NFL players are saying that Hurts is a bust.
I don't know saying that.
They're just saying that Ike is saying that, and John Ritchie and Ike Reese are saying that he's a bust.
Really?
A bust?
Wow. He hasn't done anything to say that he's a bust yet. You know what I mean? You can't do anything. You can't give any evaluation off last year. You really can't.
That
team was horrible, man.
Yeah, that sounds to me like the other hosts on those respective shows take the other side, and we get the phones lit up.
Yeah. Right.
That's what that sounds like to me.
You say this.
Right. And both the former players are saying that he's a bust, so it gives more credence to it than if the other guys did.
Well, I'm going to say this. Yes, they are NFL football players, so they do know.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, they'll tell you too. They don't know what this kid. We said the exact same thing about Dak Prescott down in Dallas. We said the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went from saying that to comparing him to Carson to now he's, a franchise quarterback, so you can't make an accurate assessment on Jalen Hurts, especially if not from practice, especially not, he's learning a new system. Everybody else is learning a new system. What he had, the BS he had last year, I mean, he didn't even have a starting receiver on the field last year.
Yeah.
Right.
So
let's
how
let
can
the season start to play out before we make any grandiose statements? Do I believe, if you're going to say to me, you got to pick one or the other, he's going to end up being a career starter in the NFL or more or less a number 2? I would lean to the number 2 right now, but I don't have enough data to go on it to really make it, this is a fact. He's going to be a backup, career backup.
You just don't know at this point, man. So, I mean, you can't do it, man. I mean, who do you compare him to? What do you compare him to right now if you were going to compare him to anybody?
No, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. Is he?
There isn't anybody to compare.
Kyler Murray? Is he Russell Wilson? Is he? If he's half of Russell Wilson, I'll take him.
Right. I mean, is he closer to Tyrod Taylor?
Right. That might be a good comparison. And he's a backup, basically. He's a spot starter. He's a starter for a couple years, for a guy that you just sort of put a bridge quarterback. Exactly.
He's a bridge quarterback.
And that, maybe that's the case.
And for a second round pick and you get that production out of him, that's a great pick. But you can say the same thing about Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? He was the same way. The exact same way.
And he was in the third or fourth round, wasn't he?
Right. The third, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. How do you make an accurate assessment of who this kid is if you don't know what he has because he hasn't had the weapons around him to see what he has? That offensive line was atrocious last year.
Right.
They couldn't block anybody. You know, they could have brought my Pop Warner football team last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let alone now.
That's it. That's the biggest thing, right?
I understand what you're saying. I've been down watching the same practices they've been watching. I still can't see, because it takes time to read defenses. It takes time to know where the ball's supposed to go and have it out on time. It takes time for young receivers to go out there and start making big catches. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It just takes time for all that stuff to mold before you can make an accurate assessment of that. Flacco was old. He's old as dirt. I mean, come on, man. Flacco is not going to be a starter here. He's not going to be a guy that can carry this team into the future. He's not.
Well, Flacco also came, from a different offense in
By the
college
way,
to the
the
pros.
person who referenced those two people I've never seen in this screen before.
No, I know. It's an interloper, and he looks like he's raising trouble.
And probably is like a Cowboys fan who's from South
Probably.
Jersey. Just careful who you're giving credit and praise to, Barrett, because you don't want to validate somebody who's just blowing bullshit out there. That's all.
Yeah.
Because look, I mean, I don't know. I did not hear what John says because he's on across from us, and Ike's not even on the air. Right. Well, was Ike saying this yesterday? I
don't know. I was just reading.
I'm going to give those two guys the benefit of the doubt over somebody who I've never seen before in our stream.
Right.
And look, I don't know John at all, so he's kind of thrown in there. But I do know Ike, and I
know both of them,
exactly.
and I know both of them didn't say that he was a bust.
Thank you. And look, that's all I'm saying is I know Ike well enough to know that he would if he were forced to say something on the air, he probably wouldn't say it first and foremost, like Barrett and others. But you would hear it, you would hear it in his voice, and that's the thing. Come on, this is.
We should try to get any luck. I guess there was no luck with Charlie Batch, huh?
No.
Is he not answering your calls or what?
Wow. No, I'm actually going to dinner with him tonight.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just can't do it. I mean, he's flying in. He's in the air right now. He's in the air right now.
What about tomorrow?
Yeah, what about tomorrow?
Tomorrow before the game?
Well, the game's at 7:30.
I'll be with him tonight. I'll see. I'll be with him tonight. Him and Max Starks. I'll be with them both tonight.
Well, let's get them both on.
In fact, why don't you guys come down with me, man? Why don't you guys come eat dinner with us?
Where is this?
And everybody's gonna meet us there.
Are you in the Center City area, South Philly area?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We should get Jason Avant on too. He's popping off about the Eagles.
What's he saying?
Saying all kinds of stuff. Josh Sweat gets off the ball faster than I've ever seen a defensive end. I think he can and will be one of the better pass rushers in the league. Definitely 10+ sack potential.
Oh, come on, man.
Everybody was saying I was lying. I said he's going to be a double sack guy.
Right, you said that.
Guy. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm not putting that out there. It's unfair to Josh Sweat. Totally unfair. I want to see these kids play well, but I also don't want to put a grow lamp next to them and be disappointed when the crop doesn't raise. You know? I mean, there's got to be we're never going to be able to do this, are we? We're never going to be able to look at a preseason football game and come away with a conclusion that, you know what? I'll put it the perfect way I can, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The preseason is for coaches. The preseason is for players, mostly players that are on the back. You know who the preseason is for sports bettors. But you know,
that's what you said.
But you know who the preseason is not for? Fans. It's not for fans. I'm sorry, because fans don't know how to handle. We don't, and it's not just us. We don't know how to handle the preseason. We want to get caught up in being a prisoner of the moment. And Sam Bradford's either going to be 10 for 10 or the quarterback in front of us is going to be the worst thing we've ever seen.
It's just like spring training baseball. Same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly
you can't make any
thing.
sweeping conclusions, positive or negative, on anybody. You know,
you absolutely can, because I mean, you just don't know.
Now, did you
You're
see
warming
this?
up.
The 49ers apparently have just released Kevin White, that wide receiver.
Yes.
That guy was drafted 7th overall a few years ago out of West Virginia. You talk about a bust.
By the Bears.
Right.
Yes, the Bears drafted him, and he was there for 3 years. I think he was hurt a little bit, and then now he's out. Right now he's on the street. 7th overall pick.
Wow.
Just straight speed.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear that Darren Waller verse before we get out of here or no?
Sure.
This is this is not out yet. Okay. So, this is not for public consumption. We are breaking this thing here. All right. I got to be honest. Waller's pretty damn good. I was pretty impressed with Waller's ability. Okay.
All right.
Let me pull this thing up.
The singing ability of Jordan Mailata is tremendous too.
That's what it comes on the heels of. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a talented dude. Hey, Barrett's hating on him for the ukulele. That guy's a star.
There we go.
All right, let me turn this down a little bit. Now, again, what you're hearing, the producer of this track, who's also rapping on this, sent me this. Like, this isn't even mastered. This isn't finished. This is not how it's going to sound over the air. Okay, so I want you to know this. This is just a quick snippet that I probably shouldn't even be playing. But the beat is provided by the legendary Rockwilder. So if you are familiar with Rockwilder, I mean, he goes back in as far as like it goes pretty much in history. Method Man, Redman. Remember that one song by Meth and Red, Barrett, called The Rockwilder? Was like, okay, so that was him. He made that. He's the Rockwilder. So for people who don't know, Busta Rhymes, a lot of people, he's worked with everybody. So this is Darren Waller, Raiders tight end, rapping.
I'm looking right in them. These hands are keeping people from me. I get right with them. This life's tough. Through torn ligaments and bone fractures. Niggas know that money I'm going after. I'm waist deep. Ain't sitting till I take a fake leap. No, I'm moving solid like the race creep. Let bullshit pass you. I stack dollars like they Ritz crackers. All these other niggas A-list actors. With briefcase with me. I'm taking aim to the case empty. Phone number state checks 850. But my spirit price was born sinner just a spin righteous. I've been cutting bitches and clearing like that.
I'll tell you, it's not bad. I like the flow. Not bad.
You're a connoisseur, bro. You're a connoisseur.
Bad. Look, he's no Iman Shumpert, I'll tell you that, but he's not bad.
What about Dollar Dame?
No, well, come on, Dame Dollar. Well, look, I tell you that you get him in the right scenario. There's going to be another athlete. I can't say who, but there's going to be another professional athlete on that track as well. You put that thing together, you have a little bit more behind it, you're going to see it. Yeah, Joey B, the Ritz Crackers line is hilarious.
Why don't you pull up? Well, tomorrow we're going to have to pull up Jordan Mailata singing Chris Stapleton.
Who's Chris Stapleton?
Chris Stapleton's a good country singer.
Okay.
Yeah. This guy's got a great voice.
Okay, we'll do
He's
that.
He's talented, man.
And we've got a football game tomorrow.
That's right.
And maybe Charlie Batch and Max Starks, maybe.
We'll maybe have it. I'm eating dinner with him tonight.
All right, here we go. We'll see you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.